How are we doing, everyone? Nobbzy here, and welcome to my very first track guide. Now I'm quite excited about this because I've always wanted to do a track guide. Never maybe really had the confidence to do it, but I thought, hey ho, why not? Let's just go for it. My next league race is at a track which I know pretty well, in cars, which I really like, so I thought, you know what, we'll just go for it. So, RedBull Ring. I think a really underrated track. You know, it seems quite easy. You have a straight, a kind of right turn, another straight, another kind of right turn, another straight, some more right turns, a bit of a left turn, and then mostly some more right turns. But I think there's a real niche and knack to getting this track right. So what I'm going to try and do is explain my way around the track, which may not be the best way or even the fastest, but it's the way that I've learnt to do it, and a way that I've learnt to do it comfortably in the LMP3 cars, which is what we're driving this season. So we'll jump over to the onboard cam and I'll talk you guys through how to do a lap in a Ginetto LMP3, the RedBull Ring. So here we go, running up to turn 1, just after the 100 metre board, going down from 5th to 3rd, turning in. I'm going to pause it right here because we need to look at this sausage curb on the inside, or the outside rather, of our front right hand wheel. Now, you want to get as close to that yellow raised part, the yellow sausage curb, as close to it as you can. But you don't want to hit it, and you don't want to straddle it, because if you do, these cars are so low, you'll end up flying across Austria faster than just you'll go flying. You'll go flying for ages. So you don't want to touch it, and you don't want to go over it at all. So you want to be kind of grazing up against it with your right hand wheel in 3rd, trying to aim for the outside of turn 1 to get the power down as soon as you can. So we'll continue the lap out onto the outside here. Now this is another important part and something to note about this track. Project Cars 2's track limits are incredibly strict and incredibly inconsistent, let's say. But for some reason, RedBull Ring, they've got it pretty good, and they actually allow for a little bit of track extension. So from what I can figure out is that as long as you're on the black piece of tarmac, which we're on now, the lap will still validate, the lap will still stand. But you have to be off the curb before you hit that green painted patch in front of us. So as long as you get back into contact with the racetrack before you hit the green curb, you will be fine and the track will be validated. So if we continue on, we see I just dip a wheel off just in time and the lap stands. So now we're running up to turn 3. Turn 2 is on the straight. Apparently it's this little kink here on the left hand side. So I'm bringing the brake bias back to 57 here. So I'm going to brake just after the 100 metre board. And the reason I brought the brake bias back is to make sure the rear rotates and follows the front of the car nicely. It's just to get the rear of the car tucked under nicer. And same here as in same in turn 1. Get as close to the yellow sausage curb as you can and get the power down as quick as you can, but do not touch it and do not ride over it because it will just tip the car. These cars are so low, they'll make contact with it, the suspension's really stiff, you'll end up just doing the rest of the lap on your side, so you don't want to be doing that at all. So in on the power as soon as you can. I'm in 2nd here, so I've gone from 5th to 2nd, rotated it in, back on the power as soon as we can, and we're driving away. So all the way down here now. Staying out to the far right hand side of the track to give us a nice straight line down into turn 4, I think this is. So we want to be in a straight line, braking nice and straight for turn 4 because it's a really tricky downhill right hand. So just after the 100 metre board, hard on the brakes, going from 3rd to 2nd, and we're going to trail brake our way all the way into the corner. So we on and off the brakes, letting the rear kind of get a little bit loose and catching up, and that's just going to help the car rotate into the corner. So you can hear me lifting off and putting on the brakes. Now ideally what we want to be is we actually want to be kind of riding that inside curb if we can. I've decided to stay out of it just to settle the car a little bit more, but I think there is maybe a little bit more time gained there if you can settle the car on the curb nicely, but I decided to stay away from it. So again, as soon as the car settles back on the power, pushing ourselves out to the outside apex and tucking ourselves back over here. Again, that corner I went into 2nd gear, and then this corner here, the only left-hander on the track, sorry, one of 2 left-handers on the track. Just after the 50 metre board, again, it's all about getting close to the apex. So we're going to go from 5th into 3rd, get the car tucked in as nice as we can. We really want to be riding the inside curb here, as you'll see me do. Get the car tucked under nice and tight, back on the power as soon as I can, The key to these cars and finding time in these cars is having the confidence to get back on the power as soon as you can. So as soon as the car's rotated and as soon as you feel the grip come in, get the throttle down. You might need to counter steer a little bit, but you want to be driving the car through the corner. You don't want to be coasting. You want to be really driving the car through the corner. So out here now, another important part of the track, we want to be extending this right-hand side as much as we can. If I was to be passing or even on this white line, the Project Cars 2 track limit would give me the infamous ping in my ear. So I'm just on the outside here. So I want to be out here. And what I'm going to do is, now there's two ways of taking this corner. You can stay in fourth, lift off really early and kind of tuck it in. But what I do is I actually blip into third, turn in, then short shift to fourth. And the reason why I blip to third is to get the turn in a little bit sooner, gets all the weight over the front of the car. We can get the car turning a little bit quicker, and then back into fourth to keep the traction nice. And you'll be at the top of the rev range for third. So if you keep it in third, it'll be bouncing off the limiter, which I'm pretty sure isn't healthy for the engine around here. So into third, short shift into fourth, as you heard there. Keep the car nice and tucked on the curbs. I'm pretty much planted down here. And into the crucial last two corners now. Again, very, very tricky. I'll pause it just after the 50 meter board. So just after the 50 meter board, we're actually even on it. I'm flicking down into fourth, turning the car in, and you have to be really aggressive here and have confidence the car's going to stick. These have a lot of downforce, so use them. So turn the car in, flick it into fourth. Now, I've seen some people ride this inside curb and get away with it. It's really risky. There's probably 1 or 2 attempts in it if you can make it stick by riding it inside curb. But what I find is it's really, really 50-50 once you come over the other side of the corner. If you can catch it and not accidentally countersteer too far off the track to get the track limits warning. So what I tend to do is I tend to just try and get my wheel tucked in between the apex and the white painted line here in fourth and get my power down. As soon as I see the outside exit here is when I'm putting the throttle on to try and catch it. Now again, track limits as before, you can stay on the black side of the curb, but as long as you're off before the red painted part there. So I'm back onto the track, I'm back onto the apex, and my wheel is just touching the racetrack, which means we can get away with it. Last corner you can take liberties with, to be honest with you. The track limit seems to not really count here as long as you're not all 4 wheels on the grass. So I'm pretty much over the curb there. Nice and extended, still in fourth here, all the way up to the line. And this was, I think it was a 123 dead, I think, around those marks. So yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is my track guide to RedBull Ring. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.